All right, we're going to do a quick video on ratios. So let's just remember what we've worked on so far, ratios. We've looked at ratio tables, double number lines, and unit rates. So let's do a quick, or unit rates what we're going to. Let's do a quick review first of all. So remember, a ratio is simply a comparison of two things. So if you look, we've been talking about, like, here's pictures. So we've been looking at pictures. This is a 3-to-4 ratio. I could compare boys to girls. I could look at circles to squares, things like that. We did a lot of pictures. Okay, remember, we can write ratios in 3 ways. We can write it with the colon, we can write it with the word 2, like 5 to 15, or we can write it like a fraction. Any of those will work. Okay. We also worked with either doing a ratio table or a double number line. So I'm going to do an example with you because that's going to actually help us for today. So I'm going to do an example of this one. So let's read this together. So to make orange colored icing for cupcakes, I'm going to need to mix 2 yellow drops and 3 red drops of food coloring to make the icing. So my question is, how many yellow drops do I need to make 15? How many yellow drops do I need with the 15 drops? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw my lines. I'm going to cheat here and use an actual line. Remember, they need to be parallel lines as best you can. Okay, and when we're dealing with this, the first thing you got to think of is, well, what 2 things am I comparing here? So you got to look at your ratios. What 2 things am I comparing? So you just go straight up to your numbers. So my numbers represent 2 yellow drops and 3 red drops. So what I'm comparing is yellow to red. That's what I'm comparing, yellow to red. You always need to label these, yellow to red, okay? It doesn't matter the order in which you do it as long as you're consistent with your numbers, okay? So yellow had 2 and red had 3. So I could have changed the order here as long as I also flipped my numbers, okay? So then my question says I want to know how many yellow I need. So up here, I need to know how many yellow I need if I needed 15 reds. So I'm going to come over here and put my 15 reds over here. That's what I want to get to, okay? So I can do this a couple different ways. So the easy way might be, well, I'm just going to start counting out my reds here. So my reds, I would do 3 drops, then another 3 would get me 6 drops, then another 3 would do 9, then another 3 would be 12. Then ding, 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 that's where 12. Then my next one will be 15. Okay, I should space that out a little bit better. Okay, so if I wanted to up here, I could just start counting by 2. So there's 2, then there's 4, 6, 8, and 10. So right away you see, okay, there is my equivalent ratios there. So I would need 10 yellow drops for every 15 red. So 10 yellow that's how many I would need, 10 yellow. So that answers the question. Okay, but then some of you might have said, well, I did it kind of an easier way. I just did my lines here. I knew that this was yellow, this was red. I knew my ratio was 2 to 3, so we got to the same exact point. But this is where some of you might have kind of took the easy route here. You knew you needed to get to 15, so you kind of ask yourself, well, how did I get to 15? How did I go from 3 to 15? Well, remember, if you're doing this, you are either skip counting over here like you did, or you're multiplying. So 3 times what gives me 15? Well, that would be 5. So you multiplied the top by 5, and you got 10. So you got your answer the same. You got the same answer, you just did it in a different way. So this way might have been a little quicker, but some of you, the skip counting over here is easy for you. Doesn't matter how you do it, it's just 2 different ways, okay? All right, so for today, we're going to talk about unit rate. Unit rate simply means something per, okay? So per. If I ask for a unit, that's just 1. So the word per actually means for 1. So if you've ever gone to the store and it's like this one, they have a sale. It's 5 candy bars for $6.75. You think, oh, yay. Okay, but I don't want 5 candy bars. I just want 1 candy bar, and I want to know how much 1 costs. So I want to know how much it is per candy bar, okay? So this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to set up a ratio. So the two things we're looking about are candy bars and money, okay? So money and candy bars. Okay, so I'm just going to set up my ratio here. I'm going to set up my ratio. So my money was $6.75, and my candy, there was 5 candy bars. Okay, so it's money over candy bars. Okay, but now again, remember, I just wanted one candy bar. I want one candy bar. Okay, so now I'm just trying to figure out how did I go from 5 to 1? I got smaller, so that means I'm dividing. So you have to think about what am I dividing by? Well, I'm dividing by 5. Okay, so then that means I have to do the same at the top. So if I divide by 5, I'm going to grab my calculator. So $6.75 divided by 5, it comes out to be $1.35. Okay, so that means it's going to be $1.35 per candy bar, per candy bar. Okay, because that's what I wanted. I want to know how much it was for one. Unit rate means I'm always figuring out how much it is per one item, okay? All right, so let's do some more examples here. All right, so here's some things that you've heard of these, okay? If I can drive 90 miles in 3 hours, the unit rate, remember, is I want to know how far I can go in one. So in this case, in 1 hour, 1 hour, okay? So I set up my ratios. Here we go. So I'm going to divide by 3, divide by 3. So 90 divided by 3 gives me 30. So I can go 30 miles, that's the abbreviation, per hour. Okay, 30 miles an hour. You might have heard that, okay? Driving, I can drive 30 miles an hour, okay? Next one, okay, there's a box, 108 cookies in 6 boxes. Well, I want to know how many are in one box. I want to know how many are in one box, okay? So I'm going to divide. 6 divided by 6 would give me 1. Oops, sorry. So I'm going to divide the top by 6. So divide by 6, you can grab your calculator. 108 divided by 6 gives me 18. So there are 18 cookies per box, okay? Now, some of you might be saying, well, I can set this up again, but I'm just seeing this really easy, 108 over 6. I know that this means, this bar here means to divide. So I could just put in 108 divided by 6, and I get that 18, okay? So that's fine. If you don't want to set up this other part of the ratio, that's fine. You just set it up here and you know you're dividing 108 divided by 6. Okay? All right, so let's do a couple more. Do some with me. All right, so Miss Douglas rides her bike about 36 miles in 4 hours. Okay? If she maintains this speed, how many miles is she going to go each hour? Now, it's really important when you set up your ratio that the bottom number always has to be the one that you want to end up getting to 1. Okay, so in this case, I want each hour. So that means I want hours to be on bottom. I want hours to be on bottom, and I want the other one, miles, to be on top. So my ratio would be 36 over 4. Okay, 36 miles in 4 hours. But I want to know how far she goes in 1 hour. So I'm going to divide by 4, and I get 9. So that means 9 miles per hour. Okay? All right, I want you to look at this next one. I want you to pause the video, and I want you to do that one by yourself. Pause the video, do it on your own paper. All right, check your answer for that one. Okay, all right, next one. Miss Delgado can type 144 words in 4 minutes, so I know I'm looking at words and minutes. How many words can she type in 1 minute? 1 minute, so that means minutes has to be on bottom. So 144 words and 4 minutes. But I want to know how many she can type in 1 minute. Okay, so 144 divided by 4. She can type 36 words per minute. 36 words per minute. That is a lot more than me. Okay. All right. All right, you've got 4 problems right here. I would like for you to pause the video and I want you to do these 4 problems. Pause the video and do these 4. All right, check your work. Okay. All right, when you do these problems, I would like for you to set up your ratios here and then make sure you say your final answers here, okay? All right, if you have any questions, let us know. Remember, being able to find the unit rate is always simplifying that down to per 1. So you always want that bottom number to be out of 1, okay? That's going to help us with the rest of our unit, okay, using that unit rate, all right? All right, if you have any questions, let us know. Have a great day.